Do we have the money to do that? Is that... Oh, we don't. Okay. All right. Um, right now, my life feels like it's in total disarray. Like almost every element of it. It feels like everything's falling apart. Like if I read the book Things Fall Apart, it might just be about a 30-year-old guy who makes YouTube videos in his room. If I took the camera off of where it is and showed you the rest of the room that you can't see in the frame, YouTube might like take down my channel. They might be like, you can't show that on here. This is a family site. What do you think you're doing? You know, I thought about putting INFJ in the title because I do think there's a connection here. I think it has to do with inferior extroverted sensing, that our lives can be occasionally overcome with chaos from things piling up. You know, this is like the constant conundrum for me. The moral dilemma I have is sometimes I don't want to make it an INFJ video. You know what I mean? Like, I know that'll get the views. I know that'll make people click on it, but even if it is an INFJ thing, I don't want to make it that. Does that make sense? I don't feel comfortable trying to extrapolate right in this circumstance my life into, oh, this is what all INFJs are like. But let me just explain what I'm going through. Let me see what you all think if this happens to you. But, well, first of all, I'm having these extreme, not that extreme, but I'm having spikes in anxiety that I haven't had in years. It's a weird anxiety that kind of makes me afraid because it's not connected with my thoughts. Like, my thoughts are relatively placid in comparison to when I'm usually anxious, where it's due to obsessive thinking. But right now, I've been experiencing a calm mind and then just this sensation, a bodily sensation of anxiety, like in my stomach and even in my arms and legs. I feel really anxious, and it's really worrying because it comes out of nowhere. I worry that it will get worse to the point where like it's gonna like take over me. Like maybe I'll have a panic attack or something. I've never had a panic attack before. I don't really want to ever have one. When you start to feel anxious for no reason and it starts to get a little bit bad, you start to worry, oh, how bad could it get? And I think it's brought on, even if it's not conscious, I think there's just so many things in my life right now that I feel like there's all these loose threads out there that are going to catch up with me. All these things that I've like committed to and obligated myself to, and all these little projects, and I know I'm forgetting things. I just feel like everything's going to catch up with me at once, and I'm going to drown in it. This is something I've always thought about. I'd be interested to hear if this sounds like your life, but I have a very difficult time switching gears between like the different arenas of life. So for instance, work and YouTube and doing side gigs and spending time with friends, all these different circles of my life. And in and of each one of them, I can be happy and feel good, but then when it's time to go to the next one, I dread it and I hate having to switch out of what I'm in into another gear. So like for instance, my day job, I'm not wild about it. It's not something that I enjoy terribly, but if I can just get into it and that's the only thing I have going on, I can enjoy it. I can make myself enjoy parts of it, you know? But then it's like irritating to me to have to switch out of that and then go into, like, for instance, making YouTube videos, even though I love doing this. It's just that switching of the mindset to go from one part of my life to another. And then once I've left the work part behind, it's really difficult to get back into it. And it basically makes it so I dread everything. Like because everything in life, my life is so splintered, it feels like. My life is not streamlined in any way. It's not really tied together very well. I have all these disparate parts. You know, I go to a day job that I don't care about. Then I do this hobby that I really care about. Then I have a side gig that makes some money, but I don't really care about it or enjoy it. Spend most of my time doing things I don't enjoy, I guess. Then I have, my chore life where I have to like keep my living space straight. I haven't done that in a while. It's like a bomb went off in here. You can't see it, but I can see. I'm looking at a Amazon box that's empty. I don't know why it's even here. Some clothes on the floor. A roll of paper towels. I don't know where that came from. And to switch into each different thing, it's not even just a task, but going from one area of my life into another is so difficult. I don't know how other people do it. I just want to stay in one thing and do that for a while. Could that be introverted intuition where I just want to stay and do one thing? Could it be, meanwhile in the other areas of my life that I'm ignoring because I don't want to even think about switching into that gear, things pile up. And you'll remember all of a sudden, oh crap, there's this thing coming up in this other part of my life and I've forgotten about it. People are getting mad at me because I'm not returning emails. These projects that I've agreed to do are coming up. I don't even remember when the deadlines are. And, I'm getting people emailing me and saying, hey, what are we going to do with this? Whatever. The other thing is I wish I said no more often. I say yes to too many things, and I hate so much being obligated to do things. I wish I had no obligations in life. Typical Frank. Irresponsible, doesn't want any obligations. I feel guilty saying no. You know what I mean? Like if someone asks me to help out on a project they're working on, if I don't have like a good reason, like a legitimate reason, basically if I don't have a conflict, let's say my calendar is open when they want me to do it and I could do it and I just have no interest in it, I'll say yes anyway because I'm like, well, I don't have a real reason. I don't have a real reason to say no. When maybe a good real reason might just be I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. But nope, that's not me. So I just agree to do it, dread it, put it off, do a poor job, make the other person angry. Maybe the rest of the year I should just say no to everything. But then there's also the fear, like some of these jobs that I agree to pay and I get them every year, and I'm worried if I say no to them now, they'll never come back. And then what do I do? Maybe I could make money in another way? You would hope I could, because if I do this the rest of my life might not be very long if we want to get dark here. Can I make that joke? It's not okay? All right, well, maybe we'll edit it out. No, but this is live. This is like live TV, right? I wonder if that's an FE thing, that we just agree to do all these things we don't want to do because we don't want to let other people down. We put what other people want and need above what we want. Maybe it is. Maybe this whole thing is an INFJ thing. Or maybe it's just being a pushover, a lazy pushover kind of thing. You know what I really wish my life was like? Like my fantasy life would be, my life is just one thing. There are no gears to switch. I wouldn't have to switch between day job, hobby, family. Like how the frick do people have a 9 to 5, then go home and go into family mode and take care of, their spouse and kids, and then have, other obligations? How do you do it? I want everything to be consolidated into one thing. So my work is whatever I want to do, and like my family is there with me the whole time. My future, wife and kids. Although maybe once I get married and have kids, I won't want to be around them all the time. But I hate that crap. I hate my life being split up into different splinters that I then have to use all this mind power, this brain power I've got to turn off day job brain and turn on creative brain. I just want everything to be my life. Just one big thing. No compartmentalization. No having to think about what I'm putting off in another area of my life because there's only one area. in this fantasy world. Yeah, man, I need to get my life together. I need to get things in order because my life is in shambles. I'm being pulled in all directions. Nothing's getting done. It's a cluster bomb, if you will, right now. Unfortunately, it seems like the only way I'm going to do this is to really tap into the kind of ordered, structured life that I despise, where I'm like going to have to list out things, I'm going to have to schedule everything. I think I would be orderly, except that I put things build up so much that I just get paralyzed and I can't do anything anymore. And it's like you focus on one area of your life and you're like, okay, I'm going to get this one thing straight. But then meanwhile, you're thinking about every other part of your life where everything's a big flaming mess. And you're like, well, what about that? Am I just going to ignore that? But the thing is, if you don't ignore it and focus on the one thing, you'll just basically ignore everything and let everything get worse. It's really getting to a point where I'm panicking a little bit about the way everything is shaping up across the board in my life. I feel like I feel like I'm being pulled apart in some way. Not to be dramatic, not to complain. I'm not complaining. And and it's weird. YouTube is my favorite thing that I do now. Like, it takes up so much of my brain power. I think about it all the time. But at the moment, I can't make a living from it. So it has to be a compartment of my life until I figure out how to make a living off of it. So let me know in the comments if anything that I'm talking about seems to reflect your experience. I think soon, I think soon in the next couple weeks I'm going to make a video. I have an idea to do one where I just show you how I make a vlog. I know that sounds like it's coming kind of out of nowhere, but I think that would be interesting it's very simple, just to show you what I do. Because a few people have asked, what camera do you use? What software do you use? And yeah. Give me a thumbs up and share this video with 7 friends or you'll have bad luck for the next 10 years. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I post one of these fantastic videos with the help of my production team that's sitting right over there. Thanks so much for watching. You stay cool and attractive. I'll see you here next time.